Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are LA.
Last night at the Big A, the stage was set for Albert Pujols when he came up with the bases loaded in the bottom of the ninth and the game on the line. He delivered in walk-off fashion, giving the Halos their first win of the season. Who will be tonight's hero? Rangers and Angels next.
Certainly nice to pick up that first win of the season as the Angels did last night. We've got dark skies. We've had some rain through batting practice. We should be all right tonight. It is game 2 of the 4-game series against the visiting Texas Rangers tonight at the Big A. As we welcome you inside our broadcast booth and back to Angels baseball on Fox Sports West, along with Mark Gubiza, I'm Victor Rojas. You just saw Albert Pujols' walk-off hit, and certainly nice to see him kind of come through in the clutch this early on in the season. But Gubi, overall, the offense did a nice job last night.
Yeah, a lot of good swings throughout that entire game. 11 base hits for the Angels, but Albert Pujols with the most clutch one, and he even said he had no problem with them walking Mike Trout to get to Albert Pujols. Nearly 1,700 RBI in that Hall of Fame career for Albert Pujols, and he crushed that baseball. I asked him, did he think he had a chance to get it out of the ballpark? He said he got it towards the end of the bat, but still hit that ball very well to bring home that first victory of the season for the Angels last night. But what you saw for that offense, you mentioned that, Victor, what the offense did last night and what they need to do, especially when you're facing a team like Texas. 11 hits, 4 runs. When you think about this, 1 run the first 2 games to 2 tough pitchers for the Chicago Cubs, but much better approach, use the entire field going the other way. Escobar with a home run too, his first as an Angel, so the offense looks like they're coming around together enough here where you're going to need to against Texas.
Hector Santiago had a nice start last night. Matt Shoemaker gets his first start of 2016. He'll be opposed by A.J. Griffin. We're just about ready for baseball here at the Big A. Sit back and relax. Line up some first pitch when we return.
Doesn't waste a whole lot of time. When he's ready to roll, he heads out to the mound, getting ready to throw his first warm-up pitch. Getting ready his first start of the 2016 season, trying to erase what happened to him last year. We'll talk about that here just momentarily. So take a look at Jeff Manister's starting lineup. For the visiting Texas Rangers, with the loss last night, they are now 1-3 to start this season. Very similar lineup to last night. DeShields leading things off. He's in center. Chu in right, Prince Fielder at DH, Adrian Beltre, the veteran, over at third base, Mitch Moreland at first. Ian Desmond signed in the offseason to a minor league deal, and then getting to start in left field. Nice job for him, considering where he was a season ago with the Washington Nationals. Rougned Odor at second base, Elvis Andrus at shortstop, and Robinson Chirinos, who homered last night, will bat ninth and do the catching. Taking it on Matt Shoemaker last season, pitched in 25 games, made 24 starts for the Angels with 7-10 with a 4.46 ERA, but a different guy from what we saw in his rookie campaign in 2014.
Yeah, but much better towards the second half of the season last year for the Angels. Fastballs, 89-93 slider, curve, split finger fastball. My go-tos for Shu to be successful tonight: splitter success, get ahead of the count, use that splitter to get swing and misses, and keep the ball in the yard. That means stay down with that fastball, stay down with the breaking balls, elevate when you want to change eye level, otherwise stay down.
Check out the defense for the Angels tonight. Daniel Navin left, Mike Trout in center, Cole Calhoun in right, the infield with Yunel Escobar and Andrelton Simmons on the left side. Cliff Pennington gets his first action of 2016 in the field. He's at second base, and Ji-Man Choi over at first base. Carlos Perez behind the plate.
Yeah, Ji-Man Choi getting his first start at the major league level at first base. 335 games in the minor leagues in that position. And Cliff Pennington, that's a different right side of the infield, has played for the A's, Diamondbacks, and Blue Jays, has played a number of positions in the infield and played them well.
Shoemaker's first one tonight is in there for a strike. DeShields last night ended up going 0 for 3, drew a walk and scored a run in the first inning. 0 for 9 to start the season. Very good speed at 25 stolen bases last year in his rookie season. Much in the cool, wet weather here at the Big A. 61 degrees at first pitch. Supposed to get some scattered rain throughout the night. Should be all right, though. 1-1 pitch.
Pretty good pitch.
Yeah.
92-mile-an-hour fastball right on the outside corner at the knees. So far, 3 pitches. Fastballs from Shoemaker have been down, which is a good sign.
Escobar playing in over at third. And it's 3-1. Shoemaker last year, 135 and a third innings. Struck out 116, walked 35. Gave up 135 hits. 24 of those were home runs. He pitched better at home than he did out on the road. And he's got good career numbers against the Texas Rangers. Full count.
Yeah, an ERA at 2.39 in his career versus Texas. Go along with that 4-0 mark. That's pretty solid numbers against a very good offense.
4-0 in 4 starts, pretty good. 3-2, and he walked him. So DeShields opened the game last night with a walk. Opens tonight with a walk. Things will slow down here with DeShields over at first base. Shin-Soo Choo, the right fielder, up.
One thing DeShields has done as he's developed in the major league level, been more patient at the plate. Early on was a guy who would swing and miss, but pretty good eye there. And all those pitches pretty close to the strike zone. DeShields knows his role is getting on base, and he took a tough one, 3-2.
DeShields takes off on the first one, and Perez cannot handle the transfer, so it's a stolen base for DeShields. That's his first of the year.
Pretty good jump. As he tried to be super quick on that one, Carlos, and unable to make the transfer to throwing him from the glove.
1-0 count on Chu. 2 for 12 to start the year. There's 1 RBI. Good season last year for Texas. Angels pull 3 infielders to the right side, and Chu drops the ball on the first base line. Tough play for Shoemaker. Has no play. It's an infield base hit. That's as good a bunt, drag bunt, as you're going to see. And we don't see that too often anymore from left-handed batters. He'll drag bunt down the line.
Especially when you know how quick you can get down that line. You can bring that baseball down with you as a left-handed batter. And an absolutely perfect bunt right down the line. The only play you have as a pitcher there is to throw the ball at the runner and hope you get that call because he's inside that baseline potentially. But if you don't get that call and you hit him and it goes away, the run scores.
So 2 on and nobody out. Prince Fielder at the plate.
And mindset for Shoemaker and any pitcher in this spot: limit damage, take that ground ball double play, because you got to believe your offense is going to score you a few runs tonight. Very difficult hitter to get out. He's a very good line drive fly ball type hitter, but a ground ball and an infielder could get a double play from Fielder.
He lines this one out towards shallow center field. Here comes Trout. He pulls up and plays it on a hop. It falls in there, and the Rangers will take a 1-0 lead. You think he's regretting pulling up?
Yeah, it looked like it off the bat. It had a chance, especially with his speed, for Trout to come in and get that one. He's playing pretty deep against Fielder. Takes that first initial step back and in front. The more you look at that, that was pretty far in front, but as that first step, that sound off the bat fooled him, as you can see by that reaction by Trout.
Fielder with his 6th RBI of the season. He had one last night with a sac fly. Still nobody out, 2 on. And here's Beltran, the third baseman. Oh for 4 night last night. And the first one is down and in. Beltran last year, 287, 18 home runs, 83 runs batted in. Spent a little time on the disabled list with a left thumb injury. Check swing, and they throw to second base. Back safely is Chu.
Well, you know, it is still early in this game. It is a big point now for Shoemaker, especially now with Beltran in a good hitter's count with good career numbers against Shu. 364, 4 for 11.
Two-0 now. Off speed outside, 3-0. Mitch Moreland, the first baseman's on deck. Texas leads it 1-0 here in the first. A leadoff walk to Shields, stolen base, bought base hit, and an RBI single by Fielder. With Beltran taking on that one. You can never just assume that he's going to take on 3-0. Shoemaker hitting his spot on the outside corner. 14 pitches for Shu. 9 balls and 5 strikes so far. Full count. We mentioned the Rangers struck first last night. Got a run of the first inning. And a home run from Robinson Chirinos to lead off the third to take a 2-0 lead, and the Angels chipped away, eventually winning it 4-3. Terrific outing for Hector Santiago. 6+ innings, 3 runs, 4 hits, 7 strikeouts, 2 walks.
Real good velocity on his fastball.
3-2, bouncer foul. Those 6 innings for Hector, and it could have been more. It should have been more, really, consider the way that the 7th inning started. A little weak base hit by Desmond, a little blooper by Moreland. But those 6 innings, the longest outing for Hector in his first outing to start any season as a starting pitcher.
really minimize the damage as far as pitches thrown. Early on threw a lot, then all of a sudden got on a great roll.
Another payoff on the way. Beltre rips one to left. Chu is going to be waved in. Nava comes up firing. The throw is going to cut off, and it's 2-0 Texas. Beltre with his second RBI of the season.
Have to go right after him, challenge him with a fastball. This time it's just below the belt. And Beltre has been very good over the years in these situations where he put himself in a fastball count, got one, and did not miss the mistake.
Charles Nagy out to pay a visit. And no clock on him out in right center field. Remember the 30-second clock now for any visit to the mound. Maybe the clock not operational tonight. Fans, this broadcast of Angels baseball is being broadcast on AFN, the American Forces Network, broadcasting to the U.S. Armed Forces serving around the world on land and on ships at sea. We welcome you, and as always, we thank you for your continued service to our country. Mitch Moreland up, still nobody out, first and second. 2-0 Texas. We're in the first. Rangers last night went 0 for 3 with men in scoring position. They're already 3 for 3 tonight. Down low. Moreland 2 for 11 to start the year. Had a 1 for 4 game last night.
Well, 18 pitches thrown for Shoemaker so far, 10 out of the strike zone.
That missed up, but gets a swing and a miss.
Really a straight changeup. Shoemaker will throw a changeup and a split finger fastball.
Evans a count at a ball and a strike. Big alley in left center field. Trout playing Moreland to pull. Simmons toward the middle. He's trying to keep Fielder close to the bag at second. Beltre is the base runner at first. This will be the 20th pitch coming up for Shoemaker here in the first. Pulled over toward first. Off the bag. It's a fair ball. Nothing Choi can do. Fielder will rumble home. The throw comes up the line to Choi. It's cut off. And it's 3-0. It's a double for Moreland. Moreland picks up his second double and his first RBI of the season.
And right down the line. So he looked like in position potentially to get to that baseball as he was diving for it, but hits right off the base and over his head and down the line for a double.
And another off-speed pitch that was up in the strike zone.
Well, we talked about that on the pregame show with Shoemaker, that importance when you throw that split finger fastball, it has to start at the knees and then end up towards the dirt to be successful. And behind in the count a lot in this inning for Matt Shoemaker. Always the most difficult one when you walk that leadoff hitter of the game, especially a hitter with speed like the Shields. Takes your focus away from the hitter. He steals a base and all of a sudden you're in trouble.
Desmond skies one to shallow center field. Trout can't find it. Now he does. Makes the catch. Beltre will stay at third. One down. Simmons was out there just in case. Trout continued to struggle to find that baseball.
As an infielder, that's what you got to do. You got to go out there to help out. He could not pick it up right away. And in the last second, then he calls for it. And it's a different sky than we normally would see out here in SoCal. Real dark clouds.
So one down, second and third. Beltre at third, Moreland at second. Here's Rougned Odor, the second baseman. On an 0-for-4 game last night. 1-for-14 to start for the 22-year-old native of Venezuela. Escobar playing in over third. 1-0. And the thing that is a little, I guess, concerning, if you will, and I know it's early, his misses, even on first pitches, they haven't been close. They've been way off the plate.
That's a pretty good indication. 7 batters faced, just 1 first pitch strike, and that was the first of the game.
Popped him up. Andrelton Simmons, the shortstop, is there. 2 down, no infield fly rule.
And the most important thing now for Shu is to keep that focus. You're not through it yet. If you can get through this with no more damage, trusting your offense against a guy coming back who hasn't pitched in the major leagues since 2013 and A.J. Griffin, you still feel good about your chances. The hardest thing to do as a pitcher in these spots when you get those 2 tough outs is to have a letdown. You cannot afford to do so now if you're Matt Shoemaker.
Elvis Andrus, the 8th man to bat here at the top of the first inning. The shortstop, 2 for 7 to start the year with a couple of runs batted in. Infield back at normal depth. Calhoun very shallow and right. This one lined to short, and he'll do it. 3 runs come across to the Texas Rangers. The Angels with the uphill battle early. They'll send Escobar, Nava, and Trout to the plate when we return. He allows 3 runs, and the Angels will get their hitting shoes on here against A.J. Griffin. This will line up Mike Socia. Will send out for game number 4. Yunel Escobar leading things off at third base. Daniel Nava, the switch hitting outfielders at left. Mike Trout at center. Albert Pujols at DH. Cole Calhoun at right. Andrelton Simmons at shortstop. Ji-Man Choi gets his first start at first base at the major league level. Carlos Perez behind the plate. Cliff Pennington, the veteran, batting 9th and playing second base. A.J. Griffin, 28-year-old San Diego native, product of the University of San Diego. Tommy John surgery. As a matter of fact, his last major league start was in 2013 against the Angels, and signed a minor league deal in January, and here he is.
Fastball's around 88 to 92 range. Slider, cut fastball, curveball, changeup. Works quickly, throws strikes, but will give up the long ball. 36 home runs in 2013 and 200 innings.
First one is in for a strike on Yunel Escobar. Angel third baseman had a 2-for-4 game last night with a home run and a single. 2 runs batted in. He shoots one out toward right center. DeShields moving back as a play. 1 down.
And my go-tos to be successful against A.J. Griffin, especially now coming back. That middle of the plate mistakes. When he makes it over the middle of the park, that's when you hit the home runs and make him work. He hasn't pitched in a long time. Work some counts. Get him into his predictable fastball counts and look for that mistake in the middle of the plate.
13th round pick by the Oakland A's at the University of San Diego back in 2010. Who's added to the 25-man roster today. It's Justin Ruggiano, the outfielder, was designated for assignment. Daniel Nava takes strike one. Nava 1 for 3 this season. 2 for 9 in his career against Griffin. One ball, one strike. Griffin pitched in 6 games, made 4 starts for the Rangers during spring training, 1-2 with a 6 ERA.
He throws strikes.
Yeah.
19 punch outs and his 2 walks in those spring training games and 18 innings pitched.
Fouled off, got jammed, and it's 1-2. 5 career starts for Griffin against the Angels. 2-2 with a 2.81 ERA, 32 innings, 25 strikeouts, 5 walks, 5 long balls. Trout on deck. Texas scoring 3 times to the top of the first. Nava fouls it off. Daniel struggling last year. Injury, hand, thumb. Part of the season with Boston, part of the season with the Tampa Bay Rays, and the Angels signing him in the offseason. They tune out in left field with Craig Gentry. Got the start last night out in left field. An RBI double. With the shoe tops, full count.
Not easy to get out of the way of that one at 92.
A little more over the top than you remember him?
Yeah, I remember him.
Guy?
Yeah, he used to be more, especially work that sinker down. Right on top of that fastball and just out of the way for Daniel Nava. That's one of those ones you say, well, you know, maybe take one for the team, but not there. You're not taking it.
32 foul back.
We can say that up here. Hey, nice play by a fan bringing the glove.
Oh, with the Trout hat on,
yes.
Too. First row of the upper deck. Angels last night with 11 hits, scoring those 4 runs. The first win of the year. Another foul ball.
Once again, Daniel Nava working counts, fouling off some tough pitches. Did that so well in spring and throughout his career. 8 pitches already. Talked about working counts and working A.J. Griffin as much as possible as far as getting that pitch count up.
And still batting from both sides of the plate. Asked Soch about it today. He just said last night he liked the matchup better with Carlos Perez. Missed another foul back. Daniel trying to become a fan favorite here in the first inning, but providing souvenirs. Souvenirs to everybody. It's a splash of foul balls everywhere. Another pail. This is pulled to the right side. Odor, the second baseman, bobbles it. Picks it up and throws that Nava for out number 2.
A Hyundai key for this game tonight for the Angels to be successful against A.J. Griffin with Selena Gomez. Hands to myself. As you can see early on, first 2 batters, he will pitch inside a lot. So you got to bring your hands inside to be able to drive the baseball, whether you're trying to turn on it or go inside out approach the other way.
Two outs, bases clear for Trout. 2 for 12 to start the year. Both hits coming last night, both singles. 2 for 4, a couple of strikeouts, a couple of hits, 1 intentional walk. An intentional walk proved to hurt the Texas Rangers with Albert in the walk-off hit. This one's lifted down the right field line toward the corner. Long run for Shin-Soo Choo, and this one goes foul. For the game today, Mike was presented with his Silver Slugger Award. Mike Scioscia Artie Moreno, Billy Epler, the GM.
We were just saying that earlier today. He's going to need a gigantic house to get all these trophies and be able to put them in his house at some point. What an amazing start of career for Mike Trout.
His mom Debbie's got the MLB commercial.
Yes, I saw that. Yes,
Great commercial.
Yes.
I'm sure she's got a spot for that Silver Slugger.
Yes, I'm sure.
2 balls and a strike on Trout.
Well, you can see that. A.J. Griffin throws inside the righties with his 2-seam fastball. He'll throw his 4-seam fastball inside against left-handed batters.
Breaking ball drops in there.
That one is 69 miles an hour. You can always tell when someone came through that Oakland A's organization. They pitch inside, they use change-ups, and they work fast.
Full count. Pujols on deck. Trout 3 for 15 in his career against Griffin with 2 home runs. Fouled off. Three 0 Texas, bottom of the first. Upstairs, and he walked him. So a 2-out walk brings up Albert.
2 pretty good at-bats in a row against Griffin. One by Nava, who eventually grounded out, but saw a lot of pitches. Same thing here with Trout, who works a walk.
Albert last night with his 19th career walk-off hit. First RBI of the season. 2-hit game for Albert. 2 for 5. The other hit, a hit and run base hit. Infield style.
Trying to create an opportunity to score some runs.
Griffin at 20 pitches already. Nava causing the bulk of that. A slider at 85 miles per hour. Good action to it. Evens a count up at 1 ball, 1 strike. 4 hits for the Rangers in the top of the first. Shoemaker ended up retiring the last 3 guys.
So far this year, the starting staff has allowed runs in 3 of the first 4 games. So been behind in every one.
Breaking ball cued off the end of the bat. Moreland has it. And that'll do it for the Angels. We'll head to the second with Texas on top 3-0. Season-long subscription to MLB.TV Premium. Go to T-Mobile.com/MLB to sign up now and catch every moment on America's fastest-growing LTE network. Here's to hoping Matt Shoemaker can continue what he did to finish the first inning here in the second. 9-1-2. Robinson Chirinos goes hacking at that first pitch, fouls it back. Chirinos, DeShields, and Chu. Matt faced 8 guys in the first.
He homered yesterday. Wasn't that on the first pitch?
First pitch fastball.
Yes.
First home run of the year. 2 RBIs. He also has a double. 10 home runs last year in 78 games. 31-year-old from Venezuela. 3 for 10 to start the year. Line down toward left field. Nava's not going to get there. One hopper off the fence, and it's a double for Robinson Chirinos to lead off the second. Another pitch that was up in the zone.
And getting back to what we talked about for Shoemaker to be successful. Work down in the strike zone, elevate when you want to. This pitch is upstairs, above the belt, allows a hitter to get their arms extended. And as a pitcher, that's what you try to avoid. You want to run that fastball in like we saw A.J. Griffin in that bottom of the first, running fastballs in, sinking, and then throwing some slow curveballs.
Shields led off the game with a walk and stole second base and scored the first run. Shows bunt, fouls it. 0-1 count. Stolen base, he picked up his first of the year. And while it was nice to see Hector pitch into the 7th last night, that bullpen for the Angels has had a lot of work here through the first 3 games.
Which is kind of the norm early on, especially because you wait for the pitchers, starting pitchers, to get stretched out and get that pitch count up.
Lays off, didn't go. 1 ball, 1 strike. Brian Gorman, the crew chief, behind the plate tonight. Mark Carlson at first, Mike DeMuro at second, and Quinn Walcott behind the plate last night is over at third base tonight. Escobar and Choi in on the grass at third and first respectively. Leadoff double for Robinson Chirinos. He offered at it. 1-2. It's almost as if he's bunting for a base hit as opposed to just trying to move the runner over.
No, he was trying to push that ball and see if he can end up getting the job done and getting a hit out of it also. When you're asked to square around the bunt, your job is to make sure you get that down. You want your third baseman to field it if you can.
Escobar moves back at third, as does Choi at first. Missed inside off the plate.
One thing early on, noticing with Cole Calhoun, we saw that a lot in spring training. He's playing a little more shallow in right field this year. That's what you want to be, especially with the Shields hitting for the right side, is to try to punch that ball out the right field, be able to come in if there's a flare out that way.
Cole's always been one of those guys that felt more comfortable playing deeper and coming in on a baseball. 2-2, pulled toward third. Simmons has it, and they have a base runner hung up between second and third. See if they can get the out quickly. They do, and they hold the Shields at first. What a nice play by Simmons.
Why he's so special with that glove, why he's won a couple gold gloves. It was a tough in-between hop also. Not real good base running by Chirinos there, especially when that play's in front of you. But important not only to get the out, but also not allowing the Shields to get the second base. Tried it in the backhand, and saw that a corner of his eye that he went out too far, and then runs him quickly and applies the tag, and then alertly looks to see where the Shields is at. His instincts, fantastic. I remember watching Omar Vizquel all those years. Those instincts that certain shortstops have really are amazing to watch.
Fielder's choice for DeShields. Big lead for him at first base.
He went first pitch last time. Shoemaker with 2 pickoffs last year, 4 in his career.
There's no doubt Beltre reminded.
Yes. You can see by that shake of the head. Yes. That's why he's such a great leader.
Quick throw to first, and DeShields back.
Beltre gets that base hit last inning, drives in a run, but right away he's going down to talk to his catcher there to remind him that play's in front of you. You stay where you're at.
It's in front of you, and it's Andrelton Simmons.
Yes. That's a double whammy.
Yeah. And the conversation, part of the conversation is you're in scoring position for 2 and 3 hitters coming up.
And now you're forcing DeShields to try to steal. A lot of times we've seen over the years, but a couple pickoffs almost got him there. That's a quick move for Shoemaker. That's when you might see a pitch out put on.
Little wince there from DeShields.
And they're looking in to see if it's worth to take a gamble, a look and see if he did pick him off. So she's waiting, see if he gets a thumb up from Dino Evil.
No go.
And when you go back as a base runner, you go to that back part of the base, it's a longer tag for a first baseman.
DeShields takes off. The pitch is a strike to throw to second. One hopper, and he goes off the glove and into shallow center. DeShields keeps on motoring to third. A stolen base and an error on Carlos Perez.
Another good jump for DeShields. A quick throw in the air. He might have a shot at him. That one hop throw. Simmons unable to scoop and apply the tag. It looks like it just flat out went right and hit DeShields on the one hop.
Yeah, look like it maybe got on the flap of the helmet.
Noticing what Shoemaker's doing, when he gets in that stretch position, he rocks back and forth, and as soon as he stopped, that's exactly when DeShields went. Both times, that's something that Shoemaker's going to have to be aware of. See that movement he has, and then he stops, and that's when DeShields went.
Chu pulls this one over to first. DeShields started to come home. They will take the out at first. Pennington there. 2 down and breathe.
There's a lot of things going on.
It's going over his head.
There's a lot going on in this inning. Some somewhat odd base running. Troy thought he might have had a shot with DeShields at third as he starts going down the line and stops. And Pennington, wise decision to be there. A lot of times you become a spectator, you're not there.
Yeah.
Good play by Pennington to be at first base.
An alert by the young man too. The minute he saw DeShields, the base runner at third, head back towards the original base, then he committed to first base.
Yeah, you take that out to try to avoid a big inning scenario.
So 2 outs now. DeShields at third, and Fielder takes outside. Fielder an RBI single with a run scored in the first. So Perez is set up on the inside part of the plate. It just missed. Pennington out in shallow right field. Simmons over on the second base side. Escobar, the lone man on the left side.
Now this is the spot right now, 3-0. Don't disgroove a fastball to Fielder, because he'll be hacking. He'll try something away and down.
And he walked him on 4 pitches. Second walk issued by Shoemaker. Puts runners at the corners now with 2 down and Beltre out. Beltre with an RBI single in the first inning. Choi playing in front of fielder at first base. Everyone else back at normal depth. And Beltre, big rip, comes up empty.
That fastball had some good sink to it, though, as it crossed the plate. Downward action on a 2-seam fastball from Shoemaker as Beltre looks back to see if indeed that would have been a strike to Brian Gorman, the home plate umpire.
'40th pitch of the game for Shoemaker. 2 outs here in the second. This is low. Good breaking ball there.
Looked like Beltre was guessing fastball. Good slider from Shoemaker.
Here's the 1-2. Pulled foul. Carlos going out to talk things over.
That looked like a split finger fastball there. That hit 85. The reason why I mention that is I think 82 range, 81, 82 with the split. A little bit too hard for Shu. You also want that pitch to go down, but you also want to make sure there's a little differential between a fastball and the split finger fastball for Shu.
Beltre foul tips down into the mitt, and the inning comes to an end with no damage. We'll head to the bottom of the second. Texas still leading it. Cole Calhoun leading things off for the Angels here in the second. He'll be followed by Andrelton Simmons and then G-Man Choi. His first big league start over at first base, taking on A.J. Griffin. Cole lifts one out to shallow center field. The Shields broke back, comes racing in, and he's not going to get there. The old 56-degree wedge at the shallow center for a leadoff single.
Looked like he got fooled, similar to what we saw with Mike Trout in the first inning.
The big swing.
The big swing and the sound off the bat. I mean, it sounds like he squared it up. You see him going back, and then that's to try to come in, and it's well in front of him.
Even Hall of Famers had problems with that.
Yes, yes, indeed.
That's tough for the center fielder. That one, and then that line drive, the low liner out the center. Lined off the glove of Moreland. Then it'll trickle down the line. Calhoun will keep on running to third. Simmons racing to second. It's a double for Andrelton Simmons. Second double, as he had one last night. His second hit as an Angel.
And Moreland very good fielding that position. That ball was rocketed at him. Reacted. As you get off the base to be able to put yourself in position, his shoulders are squared up to make the play, but just off his glove. Good swing though.
Sorry, Gooby. Nobody out. Infield, of course, playing back for Texas. G-Man Choi up. Pinch hit last night. It grounded out in the ninth inning. Fouls off the first pitch.
Boy, going back to Simmons, we saw it a lot in spring. You know, everyone's talking about the glove, the glove, the glove. Boy, he'd be doing it with the bat, but he's used the entire field. If you had a line drive like that, right down that right field line, just off the glove of Moreland, that's a good sign, because then you can let the baseball travel, have more confidence in your hands to drive the ball well.
Time called.
Good time to get that first major league hit.
Pops this one foul and out of play. No balls and 2 strikes. So a minor league free agent this offseason signed by the Baltimore Orioles. Left him off the roster, and the Angels selected him in the Rule 5 draft. Taylor Featherston was a Rule 5 selection last year. Stayed with the team all year. 0-2 now. Off, a little off that fastball. And it's 1-2. Choi last year limited to just 23 games. He broke a leg in March last year and missed a good chunk of the season. The career .302 hitter in the minor leagues. Down and in. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
It's a hard cut fastball. Combination cut fastball slider from Griffin. Again, he will pitch inside, so it's not easy to be able to get a pitch out over the plate that at the very least get a sac fly.
Breaking pitch pulled down the line. That is just foul. Last second call by Mark Carlson.
Good job of making contact with a 68-mile-an-hour curveball, especially after a cut fastball to pitch before off the plate in.
Broken bat pop-up on the infield. Elvis Andrus, Brugnet Odor. It's Odor putting it away. 1 out, shattering the bat.
And inside again. There's that fastball, cut fastball in, shatters the bat. You have to have a lot of confidence in your ability to hit spots when you're not overpowering as a right-handed pitcher against a left-handed batter to pitch inside as well as he has already, even this couple innings into this game. But A.J. Griffin's pitched inside very effectively.
Carlos Perez up. Calhoun still at third. Simmons at second. Ground ball up the middle. Odor goes to his right, has an off-balance throw. They get Perez. The run scores. Texas' lead is 3-1. RBI for Carlos, his first run batted into the season.
Odor, a special player, not only with the bat, but also with the glove. Good range there. Look, off the bat, had a shot to get into the outfield. Run scores with Perez putting that in play on the ground, middle part of the field. When they're going to give up that run, you have to at least get one across, if not more now.
Cliff Pennington at the plate. First plate appearance as an Angel, signed in the offseason. Split time with the Diamondbacks and the Blue Jays last year. Takes outside, switch hitting infielder.
Both former Oakland A's.
This one pulled toward first. Moreland has it. Racing to the bag, beats Pennington. That's the third out. The Angels get on the board. We'll head to the third with Texas on top 3-1. Remind you that 20-game flex plan offers a variety of game options to choose from, which include premium matchups, Saturday night fireworks, and popular promotional giveaway nights. Visit angels.com/ticket plans for more info. Giving away the blankets tonight. Perfect night for a blanket giveaway.
No question about it.
The only thing better tonight would be a Snuggie. We haven't had those in a while.
No.
Nor have we had the wrestling masks.
That might have to come back.
There's the old blanket. Moreland, Desmond, and Odor. 1 ball, 1 strike on Mitch Moreland. Had an RBI double in the first. Pulled foul.
One thing when you look at Matt Shoemaker's mechanics and delivery, just try to keep that front shoulder in just a little bit longer. He has the hesitation in the glove and everything else as far as his motion towards the plate, but sometimes that front shoulder will leak out, and that drags that arm through and allows the hitter to see the ball a little bit longer which gives them the advantage. Keep that front shoulder in as much and as long as possible.
Popped him up. Towering pop-up, a rainmaker on the right side of the infield. Simmons calls everybody off. One down.
Take a look at Matt Shoemaker's motion right here. The balance is good there. The toe, you want sometimes to be able to point down, but that front shoulder is still moving and flying open just enough where you can see that baseball a little bit earlier as a hitter, which you don't want as a pitcher. Let's keep that front shoulder in just a tad longer for Matt Shoemaker.
That was a pop-up to the shortstop. Caught at second base. Desmond takes down and away with a fly ball to shallow center his first time up.
And Victor, on that one you can see he was throwing a slider and that shoulder had already flown wide open. Very difficult to hit your spot with a slider when it's that quick.
Just off the plate. 2 balls and 1 strike. Desmond now 30 years of age, native of Sarasota, Florida. Down year last year in his last season with the Nationals.
I love Sarasota when I used to play there in the minor leagues. Siesta Key Beach, nice down there.
A lot of teams have rifled through there.
Yes.
White Sox were there for a while. Reds, I think.
What's it, Baltimore now?
Orioles, yeah. 3-1. This one lifted down the line, slicing towards the seats and out of play. Still one of my favorite spring training ballparks. Down in Bradenton, Florida, home of the Pirates. McKechnie Field.
McKechnie Field. They've done some renovation.
Yeah.
There.
It still has that old feel.
Yes.
To that
stadium. There's no doubt.
Odor on deck. Full count on Desmond. 233 last year for the Nats. 19 home runs and 62 runs batted in. 3-2. And he walked him. Third walk issued by Shoemaker.
Here we talk about with his delivery right here. It's good balance right here for Shoe, but the foot right there is pointing up. I want that down. When you have that front shoulder flies open, becomes more difficult to be consistent in the strike zone. You see the frustration a little bit too from Matt. Front shoulder staying longer, especially from the full windup, but that toe pointing up instead of what you would ideally want, that front foot, the toe pointing down, allows you to stay better balanced.
Odor fouls off the first one. Odor popped out his first time up. He's 0 for 1. Odor lifts one out toward right center field. Cole racing to his right, still moving back. He'll pull up. That one is gone. A 2-run blast by Rougned Odor, his first of the season, and it is 5-1 Texas. A walk followed by a 2-run blast. Texas gets that run back and one more.
Left-handed batter. middle part of the plate and down the zone where you're going to get some lift. That's exactly what Odor got, just over the wall.
Hit to short. Andrews retired for out number 2. The Angels get action in their bullpen. 2 outs here in the 3rd inning as Cam Bedrosian is the first man up. Matt Shoemaker at 56 pitches. And there's been nothing easy about his 2 2/3 innings in his 2016 debut. There's Cam. He's ready just in case. The 3rd Texas home run hit this season. Odor gets his first couple of runs batted in. Chirinos doubled his first time up. Takes an off-speed pitch low. Is there a drop to his arm causing a lot of these pitches
like I
to
said,
stay up?
that front shoulder keeps flying open. What that does when your shoulder flies open, it brings your arm down, and very difficult to work down with your pitches consistently. There's times we can still do it, but the consistency as far as pitch to pitch, more difficult. Just like a hitter, when that front shoulder flies open, you only have one spot you can hit. That's middle in. Away, you have no chance. You even hear that terminology when you're a golfer too, when that front shoulder flies open. You want to keep that front shoulder in enough, and see it's already wide open there at that point as you try to follow through.
Full count. It's the 4th full count that Matt's had tonight. Top of the order, and DeShields on deck. 5-1 Texas. We're in the 3rd. Chirinos goes down swinging, and that'll do it for the Rangers. Rougned Odor sends the Ranger lead to 5-1 as we hit to the bottom of the 3rd.
Now let's motor player profile, brought to you by BMW Mini. You know, Escobar. 9 straight years. Opening day started with 5 different teams: Atlanta, Toronto, Tampa Bay, Washington last year, and the Halos this season for, you know, Escobar. Had his first home run as an Angel last night.
Escobar, Nava, and Trout here in the 3rd against A.J. Griffin. And Griffin delivers low. Escobar fly ball to center in his first at bat. Pulled toward third. Beltre has it. And down.
He's made some plays in his first 2 games of this series. Beltre at third base. 4-time Gold Glove winner in that position.
Last year of his contract with the Texas Rangers, but the talk that both sides are certainly looking at extending that deal. Turned 37 yesterday.
Second most games played in Major League history at third base. 2488. Trailing only the great Hall of Famer Brooks Robinson at third base position.
And clearly different categories just because where Beltre is at in his career. More than, I think, deserving of being a Hall of Famer. But if you relate this to this one's up the middle for a base hit to Ian Desmond's situation, who ended up having to sign a 1-year deal to kind of reestablish his value. Remember, Adrian Beltre had to do that with the Boston Red Sox, taking a 1-year deal.
Yep.
That certainly has played out well for Beltre since that point, as far as multi-year deals and trying to recoup some of the money perhaps maybe he would have lost or didn't make at that time.
Yeah, no question. And Beltre, you know, at that point, especially with Seattle, was okay. Boston really picked it up. And obviously what he's done with Texas, not only on the field, but in the clubhouse also.
Trout takes off the plate. And Trout had a walk in the first inning. As far as Beltre is concerned, too, almost an angel.
Very close.
This one's back up the middle, past Odor. Griffin was seeking shelter.
Yeah, he was diving out of the way. You talk about a rocket up the middle. The scary ones, too, when you're on the mound because it's a low line drive. You don't know what to do. See that one right back up the middle. Certain guys, when you're on the mound, you fear that line drive up the middle. Trout is certainly one of those guys. Pitch out over the plate line, right back up the middle. I remember Dave Winfield being one of those guys in my era. When that line drive up the middle, you just hope it didn't get you. Because it's very difficult to get out of the way of a line drive like that. That speed, that hit speed off the bat was unreal there for Trout.
It's easy to say that it got to the mound quickly because it's 60 feet 6 inches. The indicator on that play right there, on that ball off the bat, is Odor had no chance to even dive for that ball behind second base.
Exactly.
It was by him. 1 ball, no strikes on Albert Pujols, who grounded out on a slow breaking ball in the first inning. The other thing, too, with Griffin, you missed all this time with Tommy John surgery. Well, the last thing you want to do is get drilled and miss any time.
Always see that very next pitch. You're making sure that ball is a little bit off the plate, one way or the other.
Snap throw to second, and Nava's back in there.
And now it's time for the driver's seat, brought to you by Kia with Albert Pujols at the plate. Most walk-off hits since 1974. Andre Dawson with 20, David Ortiz 19, and then you got Pujols, Carlton Fisk, Lou Whitaker, some unbelievable names, all at 18.
Went around 1-2. That's the pitch that got Albert his first at bat, cued it off the end of the bat to Moreland.
It's that Jared Weaver type curveball at 68. Try to get a changeup, get him to swing at that. A lot of room down that left field line. If he tries to sneak a fastball in and Albert brings his hands in, he can hook that right down the left field line. Speed on the bases. Should be able to get 2 runs home if he can hook one down the left field line.
Two now. Albert is out toward left center field. His shield's moving back. It'll stay in the ballpark. Nava A little bit late to tagging. Now, since the throw goes to, I guess, toward Moreland, not really second base, Nava's able to take third. And Nava's still looking at his left hand, too. He may have been spiked by Odor on that pickoff.
And he blocked that base pretty good.
He got stuff on his pants, too, so maybe he drew some blood.
Right there, he steps right on his hand.
Yep. And now Adam Neville is going to come out and take a look at that hand. That fingernail area.
You see the blood on the pants, it looks like right there. Neville has been working hard these first few games here at home to stop some bleeding. We saw with Andrew Heaney with the nosebleed the other day. Andrew Heaney now on the disabled list. Nick Tropiano recalled. Although the MRI on Andrew Heaney showed some strain in the form, but nothing more than that, which is a good sign.
That's the throwing hand of Nava. DeShields had considered, or I should say conceded, third base to Nava. That's why he threw wildly towards second, but Daniel was late getting back to the base. I think if DeShields throws to Andrews, the cutoff man, toward third, Nava stays at second.
They will challenge the throwing arm of DeShields in center field. Chu, a strong throwing arm. Desmond still getting used to that position, but you know he has a strong throwing arm for when he played shortstop.
Yeah.
But it's all a matter of the footwork as an outfielder now for Desmond.
2 outs, 2 on. Here's Cole. Bloop to single to center field in his first at bat, so he's 1 for 1. He also scored in the second inning. Up the middle, that'll bring in another run. Trout will turn and head to third. It is 5-2 Texas.
And if you notice, DeShields got that in right away to second base. If you throw that in slow, Ron Renicky was looking to see if that was going to be a little soft toss into the infield. If it was, you might take a chance at scoring Trout all the way from first.
Calhoun with his first RBI of the season.
Good swing once again. I call this an elevated pitch. Well, all speed pitch. Stayed back on a well, line drive. Ground ball through that hole. But you can see right away DeShields got that in quickly just in case Trout thought about going all the way around.
Andrelton Simmons up. He doubled off the glove of Moreland in the second. Fouls off the first pitch. It looked like Andrelton trying to shoot one to right again. Nice play. John at third, Calhoun at first. 5-2 Texas. We're in the third. This one's driven out to center field. DeShields is playing shallow. Got a good jump on it. He'll make the catch for the third out. The Angels get a run back. We've played 3 here at the Big A. Texas still leads it. Top of the fourth inning, a couple of changes for the Angels. Daniel Navo had his hand stepped on by Odor on a pickoff attempt to second, has been taken out of the game. Choi goes from first to left, and C.J. Cron takes over at first base. Cron will bat in the number 2 spot in the order. Matt Shoemaker back out on the bump. 63 pitches thrown so far through 3 innings. 28 balls, 35 strikes, 2 punch outs, 3 walks, and 6 hits. He'll face the top of the order. DeShields, Chu, and Fielder. Shields with a walk and a fielder's choice, a couple of stolen bases, and a run scored.
Shoemaker needs a clean inning here, especially with the bullpen already up behind him.
Back up the middle, and the leadoff man is on board. 7th hit allowed by Shoemaker. Hey, if you have a group of 20 or more interested in experiencing Angels baseball, receive group ticket pricing for as low as $6 per seat. Visit angels.com/groups for more information. Mike Sosham has popped out of the dugout, and that's going to be it for Matt Shoemaker. A rough 2016 debut for him. Command was an issue early on. Faced 8 batters in the first, gave up 3 runs, and then gave up the home run to Odor in the 3rd. He'll depart with nobody out here in the 4th, and Texas leading it.
Brought to you by Subaru Loves Promise. Subaru's pledge is to do right by the communities in which we all live and work. And by El Pollo Loco. Try the new signature avocado tostadas today.
Top of the 4th inning and a pitching change for the Angels. The starter, Matt Shoemaker, taken out of the game after 65 pitches. And it's Cam Bedrosian that gets called upon to keep this right where it's at, a 3-run deficit for the Angels. It's 5-2 Texas. Starting in and out, who's in, who's out. Bedrosian comes into the ballgame for the 2nd time this year. His debut didn't fare well, as he allowed a run on 2 hits in his 1 inning of work, 1 walk, 1 strikeout. He's got Shin-Soo Choo at the plate with Delano DeShields Jr. at first base.
Yeah, and he's going to have to be aware of that speed. Shields already in this game. He was timing Shoemaker's delivery. It's up to Bedrosian to be able to hold the ball a little bit longer. Give Carlos Perez a chance to throw him out.
Shin-Soo Choo 1 for 2 with a single and a run scored. It was a bunt base hit up the first base line in the 1st. First pitch is fouled off. Base hit by DeShields. Sorry, Goob. He snapped an 0 for 10 to start the year.
Sorry, but on that first time where Cam steps off the pitching rubber. Sometimes when you hold it, you just step off, you casually step off. Don't even look over at the runner. You know, you look quickly over and he's reading you right now. But if you just step off and just casually look down at the ground, then all of a sudden you could do that again at some point. Just step off, then quickly throw over and pick them off.
Fastball for a strike, 0-2. Fielder on deck, then Beltre. Should we get that far? Rangers with 3 runs in the first, 2 in the third.
Well, there was a time automatically on an 0-2 count with a guy with good speed at first. That's when you would put a pitch out on. The reason why I say that, because a lot of times runners anticipate on an 0-2 count you're going to waste a breaking ball in the dirt, so that would be a good pitch to go on. But if you have a pitch out, you can throw them out rather easily if you sell it right.
And by selling it right is making sure that Bedrosian does everything normal. It doesn't speed up the delivery.
Exactly.
The Shields leaning at first, doesn't go, and Chu hits one out toward right center. Trout calling for it, puts it away for out number 1. So 1 out and 1 on, and it's Prince Fielder up. He's been on board twice with a single and a walk. Missed outside. 5 runs, 7 hits, 4 left on for Texas. 2 runs, 5 hits, an error, 4 left on for the Angels. And with 1 out in the 4th, it seems like we've called 7-8 innings of baseball already. A lot of action.
A lot of base runners.
Yep. On both sides.
Yes.
2-0. Two balls and a strike. They combined tonight. We're talking about the base runners. Rangers and the Angels combined 5 for 16 with men in scoring position.
Yeah, you're looking with 12 hits combined, 4 walks.
Snap throw to first, and boy, it took a little while to develop as far as the tag was concerned. Good throw by Carlos. Already 1 pickoff at first this year.
He's done a real good job as far as that, and it's very difficult for a runner, especially with a left-handed batter up. Trying to get that secondary lead, and a quick throw by Carlos. And real close because that dive back to the base. Again, going to that back part of the base, which is a longer tag. You see how long you got to go as a first baseman, especially a right-handed throwing first baseman. That longer tag as compared to lefty.
Safe at first. Crone pointing into the dugout to have Dino, the guys, take a look at it.
He went right away to point in. Quick throw.
Looked like he got the hand.
Yeah, it looked like he did. This angle will definitely show it. Just getting that fingers on the base again, going to that back corner of the base. If you're a youngster watching this game, you're getting your lead, establishing your lead. That's what you want to do, go to that back part of the base as far as diving back. If you go to the front part, easier tag for the first baseman.
Count remains at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Seems like the Shields may try to go here.
Missed inside, a full count. Nothing but fastballs against Fielder. Figured the Shields would be on the move here. Beltre's on deck. Shields goes, and that one bounces in front of the plate. Shields keeps on running. So a walk and a wild pitch will allow DeShields to end up at third base.
After quite a few fastballs, Andrews overthrows the breaking ball. And Shields going. Picks up the third base coach and is going easily into third base.
Runners at the corners with 1 out. Here's Beltre, 1 for 2. Beltre picked up his second RBI in the first inning with his base hit. That's a fastball right through the legs of Carlos Perez. An overthrown fastball by Cam Bedrosian. Another wild pitch brings in a run at 6-2.
That fastball straight down and right on the plate area. Anticipating some type of a hop, but it stayed true and stayed down low. And Carlos didn't turn his glove the one way, tried to scoop it, anticipating some type of a bounce.
No, hoping for some type of bounce. 95-mile-an-hour fastball. You're hoping it hits your body somewhere and it stays near the plate.
Especially when it hits the plate like that.
You got no shot at that. You're not anticipating a bounced fastball.
No,
as a catcher.
Not unless you're a goalie anticipating a slap shot at you.
Yep. 1-1 pitch. This one's fouled off 1-2. So a gift of a run. A couple of wild pitches. That run gets charged to Matt Shoemaker. The book on him is closed. Ball and 2 strikes. Fielder at second base. Two and two. Going with Cam, his brief career at the major league level. Electric stuff. The secondary stuff has not been effective for him. He's been able to has not been able to throw it with any type of consistency within the strike zone.
Yeah, because he overthrows the breaking ball. Very difficult to be consistent with it. His fastball, very good, we've seen so far, but that overthrown breaking ball.
That's drilled out to straightaway center field. Trout racing back, still moving back, and he will make the catch on the track. Ball squared up well by Beltre. It's a long out in the second one here in the fourth. Fielder remains at second.
This baseball was squared up very well. Like you said, Victor, this play by Trout running that one down just as he gets the warning track in front of the wall.
Moreland takes a rip at a breaking pitch. Swings over the top of it. 1 for 2, 9 for Mitch. An RBI double. I think Carlos got crossed up there.
Yeah, but that was a much better breaking ball, though, for Cam Bedrosian. He didn't overthrow that one. Good downward action on it, 83. See the rotation of that one. And judging from the way Carlos went after that, yeah, he was anticipating a fastball.
One. 2 balls and a strike. Eighteen pitches thrown by Bedrosian here in the fourth. Caught the inside corner. Final line for Shoemaker: 3 innings plus a batter, 7 hits, 2 strikeouts, 3 walks, 6 runs all earned. One of the 7 hits was the home run that he allowed to Odor in the 3rd inning.
And that overthrown breaking ball for Cam Bedrosian. Just trust your mechanics. You don't want to try to muscle up on that pitch. It's very difficult to get hitters to swing at that one. You have to start at least close to the strike zone first. Out of his hand, it's not in the strike zone. Even though it has a good break to it, you got to establish the fact that you can throw for a strike before you're going to get hitters to swing at it.
Payoff pitch, and Moreland goes down swinging, so the damage is limited to just 1 run, and it was on a gift wild pitch. Right to the bottom of the 4th, 6-2 Texas.
Shoulder trade brought to you by Ram Trucks. Some solid defense right here by the Angels with the Shields at third base getting a secondary lead. Chu hits the ball right to Ji-Man Choi as he looks back. Delano de Shields is caught in between going home and going back the third, sees him there, and then flips the ball over to Cliff Pennington, who was in position to make the play at first base. Well done by all on the defensive side by the Angels.
Halos down 4 in the bottom of the fourth inning. Choi, Perez, and Pennington here in the fourth inning against A.J. Griffin. No strikeouts, 1 walk, and 5 hits allowed. Choi popped out his first time up against Griffin in the second inning.
I was asked before the game if A.J. Griffin will have those butterflies going. It's been a long time since up pitching in the major leagues, since 2013, but he's a guy that's really relaxed. Kind of plays guitar, real mellow type guy in that clubhouse. It's under control tonight.
2 balls and a strike. To Grossmont High School and the University of San Diego before getting drafted by Oakland. Little bloop out to shallow left. Andrews, Beltre, and Beltre, the third baseman, makes the catch.
Are you kidding me? That's an unbelievable play.
Never ceases to amaze.
I don't know how difficult a play that is when you're watching this at home as a third baseman going for that baseball. Look how far he's got to go, and that's right over the shoulder. I don't know, Willie Mays, Jim Edmonds.
37-year-old sitting there looking at Desmond and Andrews, say, hey, feel free to call me off at any point.
And be able to hold on to this baseball. What a play by Beltre. You're going straight back as a third baseman, as an outfielder coming in, and as a shortstop, you got a different angle, but he's going straight back and makes the play.
Oh, 1 count on Carlos Perez. RBI ground out in the second. Get that one down to 67.
It's one of those ones as a hitter you are turning in a little bit, try to get hit with that one if you're going to get hit with any pitch at all. Follow it right back with another 67-mile-an-hour curveball. That speed differential in this game for Griffin's been pretty good. 92 to 67, as a matter of fact. That's 25-mile-an-hour differential between that slow curveball and his best fastball.
Two. Down low. Full count. Pennington on deck. And he walked him. Second walk issued by Griffin. Go back and take a look at that Beltre catch.
Look at how difficult to play. He's going straight back. He's able to concentrate, look at that ball into his glove and maintain control of the baseball. Again, looking at home, 2 hands there initially, and then bracing himself as he falls down. But those 2 hands are right there to try to keep that baseball in the glove. Very difficult play made by the 4-time Gold Glover.
Pennington 0 for 1, getting to start tonight at second base, batting in the 9th spot. Caught the inside corner. No balls, 2 strikes. Pennington, a first-round pick back in 05 by the Oakland A's out of Texas A&M. Out of Corpus Christi, Texas. It is just the bottom of the 4th inning. 6-2. Texas on top. That is hammered out to straightaway center field. Long run out for DeShields. Still racing back. And it is off the top of the fence. Perez will be waved around. He will score. Pennington on his way to third. It's an RBI triple. makes it 6-3 Texas.
A stand-up triple for Pennington as he gets his first hit as an Angel. Just missed a home run. That's a long way on a cool night to hit a baseball, and Cliff Pennington crushed that one. Lower part of the strike zone, stayed back on that one well, that middle of the field approach. And Pennington hits that ball extremely well to center field. Just missed the halo sign there, that Angel sign right off the wall in center field. Big run now here for the Angels to bring home, get closer.
First hit is an Angel. First RBI for Cliff Pennington. Here's Escobar. Up and in. Hello. Escobar hit a fly ball to center in the first, grounded out to Beltran to third. Infield playing back for Texas. Slider away. 2-0. I mean, while this seems like it's a game that feels like it's in the 7th or 8th inning, being in the 4th, and here's down to just down 3 now. He's swinging the bat well, as this one's popped up. Shallow center field. Going to test Chu. Tagging is Pennington. He will hold up. He throws a little offline.
And notice on that play, Chu took control of it because much better, stronger throwing arm than the Shields. Called him off.
I tell you what, Gooby, I think Ron Renneke, the way he stayed in that position with his hands on his knees, I think he wanted Pennington to go. Because like you said, Chu called off to Shields, but that's a flat-footed catch.
And he caught it up higher, so it's a little longer throwing motion.
Here's C.J. Cron for this first plate appearance. He pops it up. Oh, the Angels waste an opportunity here as Odor's underneath this one. They get one, and that's it. We'll head to the 5th. 6-3 Texas. Texas up by the score of 6-3. New pitcher on for the Angels, Corey Rasmus, takes over for Cam Bedrosian. Went 1 inning, struck out 1, walked 1. Rasmus last pitched on Monday, and he threw 36 pitches in that outing. 16 games a year ago, 1 start. The Angels have had a multitude of opportunities, so it seems, over the last couple of innings to score more than 1 run, but they've only been able to just get 1 run each in the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th innings.
Yeah, some opportunities, like you said, Victor, but plenty of time left in this game. Now, when you come out of the bullpen in these games, your mindset is, I got a chance to pick up a W if I can put up a couple zeros. For Mike Scioscia, Charles Nagy, out of that bullpen. That's the mindset you have to have.
Ball one. Desmond, Odor, and Andrews for Texas here in the 5th. And Desmond, fly ball to center to walk. He's also scored a run. Swing and a miss. Slider from Corey Rasmus. Angel pitchers tonight seem to have been behind a lot of hitters. Shoemaker, Bedrosian, now Rasmus, his first batter behind a 2-1. 7 hits for Texas, 6 for the Angels. Good fastball, blows it right by him, 2-2.
And located well by Rasmus.
Tardy on the fastball. Count remains at 2-2. Texas scored 3 times in the first, 2 in the third, once in the fourth. Breaking ball got it. 1 down. Hey, tomorrow, NASCAR goes under the lights in the Lone Star State in the first night race of the year with a Sprint Cup Racing sponsored by KFC at 4 p.m. Pacific, only on Fox, or watch it live on Fox Sports Go. Brugman and Odor 1 for 2. A pop-up and a 2-run home run in the 3rd inning. And a turnaround of his season he had last year. 29 games to start the year last year, and Odor hit 144 with a home run and 9 runs batted in. Got sent out. Came back up, and he was spectacular for Texas. This one down the line. Choi gingerly toward the foul line, makes the catch, and records a 2nd out. Odor ended up hitting almost 300 with 15 home runs after he got sent down. Kind of the spark plug for Texas.
He's got good power. He swings extremely hard. Look at those numbers. Coming back up. In 91 games, 15 home runs.
First time tonight that the first 2 batters of an inning have been retired. And the first fastball to Elvis Andrews misses outside. Punches this one through the right side with the shift on. It's a 2-out single. And it'll keep the inning alive for Robinson Chirinos.
You almost count on Andrews going early. Although so far this year has been caught twice trying to steal a base. 2 attempts, been caught both times.
Trinos with a double and a strikeout. Halos have 3, 4, and 5 coming up in the 5th inning. Tron, Pujols, and Calhoun. G-Man Choi, by the way, playing left field for the injured Daniel Nava. Had his hand stepped on by Rugnet Odor on a back pick at second. That's why Choi, who started the game at first, is in left, and Crone at first base.
.217 career steals going. Big jump.
Huge jump. And safe at second base. Still made it rather interesting at second. Quick tag by Pennington. Rasmus not the quickest guy to the mound, or from the mound to the plate.
And they're looking this to make sure that if that tag just stayed on him. It's a quick catch and throw from Perez. A quick tag. I think Mike Scioscia's going to check it, see if that tag got in there. That might have got him on the elbow before the thumb got on the base. Better angle here, though. Potentially. Tag, yeah, he's out.
Yeah,
he's
that
got
angle
him.
shows it for sure.
Yeah. And right away, Cliff Pennington looked in.
Challenge for the Angels here on the play at second base.
Guys are starting to move towards the dugout, but still nothing decided yet.
Oh, the old definitive
Yes.
angle. You do have the entire field.
And everyone's walking in.
Yeah, 6 guys at least walking toward third base.
You can see
now.
that tag right there before the hand is on the base. Even though he got a good jump, what a throw by Carlos Perez. There's the tag. Hand's not on the base yet.
Brian Gorman is the crew chief. He's on the right. Mike DeMuro on your left. He's the man that made the call at second base. Headsets are coming off. Let's see what Brian Gorman says here. Out at second base. And I'll tell you what, credit both Carlos Perez and Cliff Pennington with a quick tag. Bottom of the 5th, that's where we're headed. The Los Angeles Angels and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Angels Baseball LP. It's the bottom of the 5th inning, 6-3, Texas. Trout leading things off, takes a fastball right down Broadway for a strike. Mike's been on board twice with a walk and a single. Base hit by Trout, a liner that almost decapitated A.J. Griffin. This one pulled foul.
Go back to Elvis Andrus. He had been successful 44 of 51 attempts in his career as far as stealing bases against the Angels. But Carlos Perez, a quick throw and a great tag by Cliff Pennington. Now 44 for 52.
Breaking pitch, this one's out towards center. The Shields curls around, heads back, and on the track makes the catch. Well, I can't believe the ball traveled that far.
Look at knuckleball, like a Charlie Huff knuckleball. Back in the day with the Texas Rangers.
First out of the 5th.
It looked like he got it in on him. It was a breaking ball. Backed up on him. Pretty good indication how strong Mike Trout is. So this pitch is coming in at 67 miles an hour. Inner half of the plate, brought his hands in. Like we said, we're going to be the key against Griffin. And all the way out to that wall in center field before the Shields runs it down. Mike Griffin's throwing a lot of off-speed pitches to Pujols between his changeup and slow curveball.
Albert 0 for 2 with a ground out and a fly ball to center. 2 balls, 1 strike.
Almost like he showed him a fastball to come back with a curveball now.
Or he said it went around. Wow. A breaking pitch, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Albert at 560 career home runs, good for 14th all time. Foul tipped into the mitt. 2 outs. First strikeout for Griffin. Every moment matters. Join us tomorrow at 6:05 as the Angels take on the Rangers and enjoy a post-game Saturday night fireworks show presented by Wells Fargo. Visit Angels.com to get your tickets today. Angels hoping that the weather holds off. Supposed to get a lot of rain tomorrow. Good pitching matchup scheduled. Garrett Richards and Cole Hamels. This one out toward left field. Desmond is there. And the Angels go down in order for the first time tonight. 5 complete. Texas leads at 6-3. On Fox Sports West is brought to you by Energy Upgrade California. It's easy to stay golden at energyupgradeca.org. Top of the 6th inning, 6-3, Texas on top. They will send up 9-1-2 here against Corey Rasmus, pardon me. Colby Rasmus was part of a play with the Houston Astros today where the slide rule came into effect, and the Astros lost the game because of it. That's how the game ended.
That's 2 games that ended on a play like that.
Yeah, crazy.
That's second on a double play, automatic double play call.
Chirinos 1 for 2 with a double and a strikeout. He was at the plate when Elvis Andrus was eventually called out to end the 5th inning at second. Stolen base attempt. Hit by pitch. Leadoff man is on board. There's a fastball running in on him.
.91-mile-an-hour fastball running action right on the tricep area. Really no way to get out of the way of that pitch running in like that. Potentially could see another sacrifice bunt attempt here by the Shields.
That's going to leave a nice mark on that tricep. The Shields has been on board 3 times tonight with a walk and fielder's choice and a single, 2 stolen bases, and 2 runs scored. Escobar in over at third base. Takes upstairs with a fastball. One ball, 1 strike. Matt Shoemaker got the start tonight. 6 runs and 3 innings of work. Bedrosian went 1. This one's flipped out toward right field. Not very deep. Cole was playing shallow. Puts it away.
That's a difference this year for Cole. The Gold Glove winner last season playing a little more shallow and right.
And this week only, T-Mobile customers can get a free season-long subscription to MLB.TV Premium. Go to T-Mobile.com/MLB to sign up now and catch every moment on America's fastest growing LTE network. Rasmus, by the way, working his 2nd inning of relief. Chu takes upstairs. 1 for 3 tonight. A single and a run scored in the 1st inning. Over the years, we've grown so accustomed to seeing Shin-Soo Choo wearing the double ear flap helmet. It broke on him last year. Had some success with the 1 ear flap. Why mess with success?
One thing about baseball players, they're not superstitious whatsoever.
That's not allowed nowadays, by the way. Not permitted. One and 2. True didn't like that call and may have been just off the plate. Chirinos over at first base. Chu fouls it off. Oh, he jammed it nicely.
93-mile-an-hour fastball.
Prince Fielder on deck. Couple of finals in the American League. Detroit shutting out the Yankees in their home opener 4-0. Cleveland over the White Sox 7-1. That was the White Sox home opener. Baltimore over the Rays 6-1. Boston came back and beat Toronto 8-7.
And they were down in that game 7-2.
Yeah.
Grand slam in that game by Josh Donaldson.
Kansas City beat Minnesota. Oakland and Seattle tied at 2. That game's in the 7th. That one misses low. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Baltimore undefeated this year.
That's why nobody cares about spring training records.
Nope.
Well, I should say nobody. Some do for no reason.
Makes the games go better.
Yeah. It's like winning the offseason. That's always big. Emergency hack by Joe, and he keeps his at bat alive. Ninth pitch to Shin-Soo Choo, and it misses low. Full count. I haven't received word on Daniel Nava. He left the game back in the 4th inning after having his hand stepped on, his left hand. One of the fingers was bleeding. Taken out, replaced with C.J. Crow. Three-2. Well, time was called. Chirinos on the move. Will head back. They were talking about the Astros. Apparently, A.J. Hinch not happy with the slide rule. Having that call out. Dallas Keuchel apparently not happy either.
Yeah, Joe Madden talked about that today. Just like we saw some of the new rule changes last couple of seasons, they'll get together and figure this one out. Well, in the neighborhood, we saw that one already in discussion. Of course, the slide rule coming into play. They'll redefine that at some point soon. Have to.
3-2. Breaking ball lifted out to left. Choi is there. 2 outs. Wouldn't it behoove Major League Baseball, though, to work out those kinks perhaps in the Arizona Fall League during the offseason before you get into games that actually count and matter?
You would think. Remember we saw, what, a couple years ago, that the transfer rule on fly balls. We saw it with Josh Hamilton.
Yeah, in Seattle. Remember?
Yes. So, you know, they figure that out quickly. They're going to have to. There's too many people upset already. And games won or lost in the month of April, still, there's plenty of time left. But those games could end up being huge as the season progresses.
Two outs. Chirinos at first base. Here's Fielder. 2 walks and a single for the big man. Takes a strike. Milwaukee ended up winning that game 6-4 against Houston. Now the neighborhood play is also reviewable.
Yeah.
So one rule is supposed to protect the player at second base, correct?
Yes.
And then now the in the neighborhood basically says you got to anchor yourself to second base. His fielder skies one out to right center. Cole Calhoun is there, hit by pitch, stranded at first base. We head to the bottom of the 6th inning. Texas still on top. Business and Sports brought to you by AutoNation.com and powered by AutoNation Toyota Irvine. Here in the bottom of the 6th inning, Simmons, Choi, and Perez to face A.J. Griffin. First big league start since his last in 2013. And that was against the Angels here. He eventually had Tommy John surgery, signed in the offseason to a minor league deal by the Texas Rangers, and he's done a nice job. 1 strikeout, 2 walks. 6 hits allowed, and when he's gotten into trouble, when the Angels have put him in trouble, he's gotten out of it. Retired the sign in order in the 5th inning, first time he's done that. Simmons takes upstairs. He doubled in the 2nd inning, hit a fly ball to center in the 3rd.
He's really mixed in that slow curveball when he's been in stressful situations very well.
Two balls, 1 strike. During the break, we just got word from the clubhouse. Daniel Nava, left index laceration. The X-rays are negative, so like all of us, he's listed as day to day. 2-1. That's lifted out to shallow center. Shields comes in, puts it away, and there's out number 1.
Hyundai key to this game, and they certainly have had some opportunities and done some decent things as far as bringing those hands to myself, bringing those hands in to be able to drive the ball, because A.J. Griffin has done a very good job as far as pitching inside and then throwing that slow curveball and slider combination effectively enough. The Angels have had chances, number of base runners. Plenty of time left though in this game to come back and win this one.
Griffin's retired 6 straight since the triple by Pennington. Choi has popped out twice. The last one was that play that Beltre made in shallow left. Choi now has popped out 3 times. He's 0-3. 2 down.
Again, ran that fastball inside again.
Carlos Perez coming up. Wilhelmsen getting ready. He pitched last night. Gave up 2 hits, no runs. His 1 inning of work. A total of 16 pitches. That was the 85th pitch thrown by Griffith tonight. Perez, an RBI ground down, a walk, and a run scored. He hides that breaking ball well. Doesn't slow any part of his body down, especially to get it at just at 67, 68 miles per hour. And that's hooked down the left field line. It's going foul.
We were talking about with Shoemaker a little earlier about that front shoulder at times flying open. Griffin's done a nice job as far as keeping that, and that allows him to get that good arm slot with both his curveball and fastball, and even his cut fastball and slider. 87 pitches thrown, 56 of them strikes. Certainly has a lot of family here coming back from Tommy John surgery. Last pitch in the major league in 2013.
Ground ball over to Beltre. And Beltre almost makes a mistake, but he gets the out. That's 8 in a row retired by Griffin. We're headed to the 7th.
Baseball on Fox Sports West is brought to you by Mercury Insurance. On a mission to save you money. Log on to MercuryInsurance.com today to get a fast free quote and see how much you could save. And by your Southern California Toyota dealers.
Texas leading the Angels here 6-3. The top of the 7th. Adrian Beltre's had himself a game with the bat and also with the glove. And that's worthy of a Carl's Cam replay. Look how far the 4-time Gold Glover has to go. Over the shoulder play on a pop-up. An outstanding play. Looked at in the glove, used 2 hands to keep that baseball secure. Braced himself as he falls down in the grass.
Beltre, Moreland, and Desmond here in the 7th. Rasmus working his 3rd inning of relief. One ball, 1 strike. Beltre tonight 1 for 3 with an RBI single. Good breaking ball. This one headed to the seats on the first base side. Action continuing in the Rangers pen, so the Angels may have seen the last of A.J. Griffin. Out towards center. Moreland coming up with one out. Pretty good debut for A.J. Griffin. The Angels had him on the ropes in the second, third, and fourth innings, but he limited that damage to just one run each in those frames.
He's got to feel real good what he did tonight. Consider where he has been. Hasn't pitched in the major leagues since 2013. If you look at what they put down as a quality start, 6 innings, 3 earned runs.
Two balls, no strikes on Moreland. RBI double for him in the first inning.
And that shift on with Moreland at the plate, and Cliff Pennington playing that shallow right center field. We've seen Escobar move over there. Escobar staying over the left side of the infield, while Simmons moves over to the right side of the infield.
Evens count up at 2 balls, 2 strikes. Much better, more consistent outing for Rasmus so far compared to the one he had Monday in his Angels 2016 season debut, as this one's out towards center. Two down. So look at tomorrow night's starting pitchers presented by Honda. Mentioned a good start. Cole Hamels against Garrett Richards.
Richards with that real good fastball. He had working hard, slidered over, threw a few of them. Cole Hamels, still good fastball himself. It was 7 innings his last time out, picking up the W for the Rangers. Richards, A-type stuff. It's going to be a good pitching matchup tomorrow.
Fastball is in for a strike on Ian Desmond, the left fielder. 0 for 2 with a walk.
Still good velocity on the fastball by Rasmus. 44th pitch thrown. That one's still 93.
Halos have 9, 1 and 2 coming up in the bottom of the 7th. Breaking ball missing, and it's a full count. Halos have not had a 1-2-3 inning tonight. Rasmus gave up a 2-out single to Anderson the 5th before he was caught stealing. Chirinos led off the 6th with a hit by Pitton, and Rasmus retired 3 in a row. He's got the first 2 here in the 7th. Desmond's approach to play, correct me if I'm wrong, with that open stance and looking to put. He's got one. If you pitch him middle half in, that's his zone. It looks like.
It's always been the case.
Strong kid.
Yeah, he can hit the ball a long way when he gets a pitch in that zone.
He walked it. So unable to record a 1-2-3 inning. The Rangers will send up Rougned Odor with 2 outs and a man on. It's the 5th walk by Angels pitchers tonight. Charles Nagy's coming out. Looks like there's some movement in the Angels pen. Looks like Mike Morin will be stretching it out.
Corey Rasmus done a very good job. Exactly what Mike Sozier has wanted. Some length and some quality pitching out of the bullpen, trying to finish it off now.
I take part in the Angels 5K and Fun Run presented by St. Joseph Hoag Health. That's tomorrow right here at the Big A. All participants will receive a commemorative shirt and finisher's medal. You can still register tomorrow in person right here at the Big A between 6:30 and 7:30 a.m. Get her done. Odor 1 for 3 with a 2-run home run in the 3rd inning. Next pitch will be the 50th thrown by Rasmus. Trying to finish up his 3rd inning of work.
With that pitch count getting higher and higher for Rasmus. Just trying to make that last couple quality pitches to get through this inning.
Two balls, no strikes. See Corey visibly upset at himself.
And is trying to fight his way through. The fatigue is setting in. That's a lot of pitches thrown for him out of the bullpen. 50 pitches, 32 strikes. Got the light wave back here.
Yeah, it's back in full effect, especially out in right field. Started what, 2 seasons ago, right?
Yeah.
2014. Good off speed pitch, 2-1. I'm sure there'll be a new rule instituted about the light wave soon. And that'll have to be tweaked.
There'll be some changes in that slide rule for sure.
I don't think they should change it in season, because I mean you're hurting a team based on one set of rules, and all of a sudden you're changing the rules in season.
It'll be tough because the guys have been working on that. They were working in spring training on it. All of a sudden you're going to change that mindset once again.
Three balls and a strike. Could be the last pitch for Rasmus. More than a minute to go. Cute foul. Full count. Nine full counts tonight by Angels pitchers. Desmond will take off here. The 3-2. Breaking ball fouled off.
Good slow curveball again by Corey Rasmus.
And he walked him. Back-to-back walks with 2 outs here in the 7th. That should be it for Rasmus. Mike Scioscia's coming out. Mike Moore's coming in. We are in the 7th with 2 outs. It's a 6-3 Texas lead.
Was light on this date back in 1974. Hank Aaron, it's his 715th career home run to break the Babe's major league record against the Dodgers. Al Downing on the mound.
Buckner goes back to the fence. It is gone.
What a moment that was. I remember watching that on TV. Still get goosebumps.
Pretty cool.
Oh, Bill Buckner tried to go over the wall to catch that ball.
Mike Moore takes over on the mound here. Inning in the 3rd. 2 earned runs so far in 2 games. Desmond at second, Odor at first base. Elvis Andrus is the batter. Andrus tonight 1 for 3. He had a single in the 5th inning with 2 outs, and it was called out trying to steal second. Originally the call was safe. The Angels challenged, their first challenge of the season. It worked in the Angels' favor. 1-1.
Always a tough guy up against the Angels in this situation. A career .310 hitter coming into the game tonight. Andrus versus the Angels.
Fastball. Well, that was all over the bottom part of the strike zone.
And look at our Fox tracks. Lower part of the strike zone, that 91-mile-an-hour fastball. Our Fox tracks right there, lower part of the strike zone, middle of the plate.
Instead of 1-2, it's 2-1. Off speed inside, 3 balls and a strike. Full count. Royals will get a head start here. Chirinos on deck, trying to keep this a 3-run deficit. Payoff pitch. Check swing foul.
He's been known to try to flare that ball to right field, and Cole Calhoun playing a shallow right field here against Andrews. Try to take that away from him. Mike Trout playing a little bit deeper in center. E-Man Choi playing a little shallow in left field.
Change up, and then he flips this one to left. 1 run is in. Odor on his way to third. He will stop right there, and it's a 7-3 Ranger lead. Moore going back to the changeup, and Andrews hits it off the end of the bat, picks up his 3rd RBI of the season.
His changeup, 73-mile-an-hour pitch, but came running on the inner part of the plate. And Andrews has dropped a barrel of the bat on that one. Base hit in left field again, and continues to have good numbers in his career versus the Angels in a lot of at-bats.
That run gets charged to Rasmus. He's responsible for Odor at third base. Now Robinson Chirinos up, a double, a strikeout, a hit by pitch. Lifts this one down the line. Long run for Cole. Moving toward that foul line. He'll make the catch. Stretch time here at the Big A. The Angels trailing now 7-3. Box score for the Angels, a total of 6 hits tonight. Cole Calhoun has 2 of them. But the problem is that the Angels have not been able to collect those hits when they had those scoring chances. Multiple scoring chances in the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th innings, as A.J. Griffin is no longer in the ball game. He's got himself a 7-3 lead here in the bottom of the 7th inning. The Angels have 9-1-2 coming up, but they're going to face Wilhelmsen, who pitched last night. And as we mentioned earlier, gave up 2 hits in 1 inning of relief. A.J. Griffin, first start since 2013, start here at the Big A, and then the subsequent Tommy John surgery after signing this offseason a minor league deal But the Texas Rangers making his Rangers debut tonight.
Yeah, he threw the ball well. Will Helmson is a guy with a power fastball himself when it's right. 93-97 range, curveball, very good one. Slider, changeup.
Total of 1 inning worked in 2 games. 6 hits, 5 runs, all 5 earned. He had a very poor outing, his first one out against Seattle. Pennington takes down low for ball 1. Cliff 1 for 2. He had an RBI triple off the wall in center field. His second at bat. Two balls, 1 strike. Final line on Rasmus, 2 2/3, 1 hit, 1 strikeout, 2 walks, 1 run. It was earned. Just kind of running on fumes there at the end of the top of the 7th.
Threw the ball very, very well.
3-1.
The thing about Will Helmson, he can get wild. His stuff is good. He can get wild.
32-year-old, native of Tucson, Arizona. Picked up this offseason in trade with Seattle. James Jones, the center fielder, also was part of that deal in exchange for Leonis Martin. And that caught the outside corner. No, it did not. It missed outside.
Yeah, when that pitcher ran off the outside corner, but Will Helmson gets the benefit of the call. Look at our Fox tracks. You can see how this is running off the plate, especially when you see a catcher reaching out like that.
And there's ball 4 for a second time. Leadoff man on board will bring up Yunel Escobar. Will Helmson last year, 53 games with Seattle, 2-2 mark, a 3.19 ERA, 13 saves, 62 innings, struck out 60 and walked 29. Doug Brocail, first year as the pitching coach, formerly the Astros, and he pitched at one time with the Texas Rangers, Texas native. Escobar went around. It's no balls and a strike. Angel third base, but 0 for 3. A couple of fly ball outs and a ground out. That's pulled toward left field. Desmond got a good jump on it. He will track it down. Ends up belly, or on his belly, after going into a dive. But he records the first out. Nice play by Desmond at left.
Yeah, for a shortstop by trade, playing the outfield now for the Texas Rangers. What a good first step he got on this baseball. Tracks that one down, able to corral in the glove, and slides and gets up quickly to get that ball into the infield. Never took his eye off the baseball, and his head was still as he was running. So when you do that sometimes, especially as an infielder playing the outfield, your head will move and your eyes move. More difficult to track that one down, but he did a nice job as far as making a play on that one.
C.J. Cron tonight 0 for 1. He popped out, saw 1 pitch in the 4th inning. Popped it to Odor. Fastball missing low. Trout on deck. One ball, 1 strike. Cron had great numbers, especially from a run production standpoint against Texas last year. 20 runs batted in. Second most against a team.
Career .348 hitter against Texas coming into the game tonight.
Pulls this one over to third, rolls over it. Beltre over to Odor for one, and back in time. That's an inning-ending double play. Leadoff walk and nothing more. 7 complete. Texas still leads it.
The Rangers on top of the Angels by the score of 7-3. I'm Patrick O'Neill. Stick around after the game for Angels Line, brought to you by your SoCal Mazda dealers. We'll hear from Mike Scioscia, see what he can say about the effort from Matt Shoemaker, and an update on Daniel Nava. So as we send it back upstairs to Victor Rojas and Mark Gubaza, still time for me, guys, to go get my rally cap. So I'll do my part down here.
All right, sounds good, Patrick. We appreciate it. Always good to see you, my man, handling the desk duties tonight. Back to the Kings, I'm assuming, tomorrow. Mike Moore back out on the bump. Top of the 8th inning. It is 7-3 Texas. DeShields, Chu, and Fielder, 1, 2, and 3 for the Rangers. At this point, the Angels need need Moore to suck up a couple of innings here if possible. One and two. Shields tonight 1 for 3. Walked and singled. He's also scored twice. Punches this one to right. Elevated fastball. Shields on board for the 4th time tonight.
Yeah, we talked about how the Shield has made a good adjustment. Doesn't necessarily swing and pitches out of the strike zone as much. Got a fastball up. Didn't try to do a lot with it. Just punched it in the right field. Now you have a stolen base threat. First base once again.
Chu, a 1 for 4 now with a single and a run scored. It's like DeShields maybe jammed his hand into the bag.
Going to that back part of base, just gets that hand in before C.J. Cron's able to apply the tag. Seen him diving back there a number of times. Close plays throughout this whole game. He's been on so often.
One 0 count on Jew. There's been a boatload of pitchers thrown tonight by the Angels. Nothing easy tonight. Now, one time had they retired the sign in order. A lot of walks as well. 6 total walks, 1 hit batter, and 10 hits. Chris Coughlin has homered against Steve Cishek in Seattle. So Oakland leading the Mariners 3-2 in the top of the ninth. Leading that time, and still gets the hand in ahead of the tag. That's the Mariners home opener.
Always remember they do a nice job as far as their home openers up there in Seattle.
The red carpet and center and stuff.
Speaking of home openers, Colorado had there today, and Trevor Story, the youngster, the shortstop, hit his 6th home run of the season. What a start. 6.
It's pretty good.
Yeah. That's seeing the ball pretty well, don't you think?
Yeah. Two balls and no strikes on Shin-Soo Choo. Make that 3 balls and no strikes now. The fielder on deck. Three and 1. Pitch count of throws over to first base with DeShields is almost close to the game count. As he's been on board, we've paying a lot of attention to him. You have to.
Anytime you get your leadoff hitter on base as much as Shields has done tonight, it's really puts a lot of pressure on your defense. It forces Mike Scioscia to worry about throws over the first. Pitchers trying to be quicker to the plate.
The Angels coming into tonight's ballgame, granted it's just 3 games prior to tonight, had issued a total of 9 walks. We've got 7 walks issued tonight. First and second, nobody out. 0-1. And it hasn't been, you know, we talked about Brian Gorman missing here, 1 pitch here, 1 pitch there. Hasn't been a tight zone.
No, he's been solid behind the plate.
No balls and 2 strikes. Fielders picked up 2 of those walks, 1 for 2 tonight. Notched his 6th RBI in the first. Fastball. That one's way off the plate. 1-2. 7 runs and 10 hits. 8 stranded for Texas. 3 runs, 6 hits, an error, and 5 left on for the Angels. Changeup got it. Fielder tried to go down and get it, golf it out. 1 down.
Yeah, that was a nasty changeup. That one at 74 miles an hour. After the fastball just off the outside corner, the changeup could not stay back enough to be able to make contact on the changeup after trying to deal with a 93-mile-an-hour fastball the pitch before.
Beltre flips one out to shallow left center field. Choi gives way to Trout. 2 down. Runners could not advance. And Mitch Moreland coming up. Trout will lead off in the bottom of the 8th inning, followed by Pujols and Calhoun. I don't see anybody in the Texas pen. Maybe Will Helmson comes back out.
They've thrown a lot of innings out of their bullpen already. They've been asked to pitch quite a few games and pitches already. Texas bullpen, we've seen that the last few years, really. Bullpen been used a lot, and a lot of different pitchers.
Good off-speed pitch, and it snowballs a strike. Moreland tonight is 1 for 4 with an RBI double. Fernando Salas now getting ready. Shoemaker went 3+, Bedrosian 1. Rasmus 2 2/3. This one fouled off 1-2. Morin has worked 1 so far. DeShields over at second and Chu over at first. Fastball got him. Down goes Moreland. So Morin works his way out of some serious trouble. We head to the bottom of the 8th. 3-4-5 coming up for the Angels. The Angels here in the bottom of the 8th inning. He'll be followed by Albert Pujols, Cole Calhoun. Tom Wilhelmsen back out on the mound for his second inning of work. Issued a leadoff walk, but then got a fly ball and a double play to get out of the 7th inning. Trout tonight 1 for 2 with a walk, a single, and a fly ball to center. Trout 1 for 10 in his career against Wilhelmsen. 4 strikeouts. First one down and in. Look toward short, sharply. A nice play by Elvis Andrews on the one hopper to retire Trout for out number 1.
You can't square it up any better than Mike Trout did, and that baseball almost took Andrews into that outfield grass. Looks like it does take him out there. It was hit so hard, but able to recover because that strong throwing arm he has to get Trout at first base, especially hit as hard as he did.
Albert hitless tonight, 0 for 3.
Talk about an overthrown slider. That certainly was by Wilhelmsen.
Fernando Salas continues to look for the Angels, so he'll get the 9th. He'll be the 5th pitcher tonight. Broken bat bouncer to third. Beltre has it. 2 down. But a quiet last 3+ innings, almost 4 innings now for the Angels offense. The only base runner being the walk that Pennington picked up leading off the 7th. So after the Pennington triple in the 4th inning that brought in a run, there's only 1 out at that point. Angels have had that's the only base runner they've had other than Pennington is that walk. Oh, the swing and a miss. 2 hits tonight for Calhoun, 2 for 3. Picked up a single and a run scored in the 2nd, single with an RBI in the 3rd.
Wilhelmsen in his 2nd inning of work, 18 pitches. There was conversation a couple of years ago in Seattle. They were going to think about making him a starter.
It's always seemed like he's the type of guy, personality-wise and stuff, that you'd rather have him just come out for an inning, empty the tank.
Exactly.
Haven't seen the sharp breaking ball yet from him that was effective a couple of years ago. That curveball, he had if I remember correctly, did he not have a curveball? It was pretty good.
Yeah, he had a real good one.
This is
that the old saying that we've said a number of times, muscling up on it, overthrowing it. A true 12-6 break on that curveball for him.
Full count. Former Mariner GM Jack Zaremczyk brought Wilhelmsen into the Mariners organization. Knew him from his days in Milwaukee. Missed several years, suspended, and then decided to kind of be away from baseball. But Zaremczyk brought him back to Seattle. There's a 2-out walk. Saw this morning that Jack's part of the Pirates broadcast crew. They just brought him on board to do some games.
Really?
I think he's a PA guy, is he not? Zaremczyk?
Good guy.
Yeah. I think think he did some stuff on MLB Network too for a little bit. Andrelton Simmons 1 for 3. Simmons punches one through the right side. It's a base hit. Cole will stop at second.
Second hit of the game for Simmons going the other way. Double off the glove. It's more than at first base, a line drive. That one shot well between first and second.
So Ji-Man Choi will come to the plate with 2 outs and 2 on. Started the game with first base, went to left when Nava was taken out of the game with a laceration to his finger. Choi has popped out all 3 times. Once to first, twice to the third baseman, Agent Beltre. Quick visit by Doug Brocail. Wilhelmsen at 24 pitches, right down the middle. 12 balls, 12 strikes. The only conversation you could be having here is just staying on the hands because A.J. Griffin was effective on Choi.
Exactly, whether it's even this cut fastball or slider or fastball in.
One-0 pitch. Pulls this one up the line, foul.
Gary DeSarcina still with those good hands. He'll make a lot of great plays over the years wearing that Angel uniform at shortstop.
Cal leave it up at a ball and a strike. Calhoun over at second base. A 2-out walk for him. Simmons at first with a base hit to right. The chant guys tonight with 4 hits combined.
You can hear the chant in the stadium for Ji-Man Choi looking for that first major league hit.
2 balls, 1 strike. He had a bomb in the exhibition play at the deep right center field.
That got out quickly also. That wouldn't be bad either, but a base hit's good too. Well, they are staying inside against him. Another hard slider down and in. Fastballs in. But the thing is, as a pitcher, when you make that mistake, when you're trying to go in, that floats out over the middle of the plate, that's the pitch that goes a long way against you. Very difficult to consistently not miss when you keep throwing inside.
1 strike. Perez on deck. Here's the pitch. And he walked him there loaded out for Carlos Perez. That'll probably be the last batter for Wilhelmsen. So he's unable to have a clean 8th inning. It'll bring the tying run to the plate. Bannister out to make the move. A pitching change here at the bottom of the 8th inning. The Angels down 4, have them loaded with 2 outs here in the 8th. Let's see what Mike Scioscia does as far as a batter. It's Carlos Perez's turn, but he's going to face Tony Barnett. Born in Anchorage, Alaska, the 32-year-old grew up in Washington, was a 10th-round pick of the Diamondbacks out of Arizona State, but he spent the last 6 seasons pitching in the Nippon Professional Baseball League in Japan. Last year with the Colt, 3-1 with a 1.29 ERA. He had 59 games. He had 41 saves before signing a deal with the Texas Rangers. Signed a 2-year deal with a club option for 2018. He has just made his major league debut a couple of days ago. He's pitched in 2 games with Texas, hitting in 2/3, 4 hits, 2 runs.
He really impressed the club in spring training. Fastball is 90-95. Slider, curveball, changeup. So far, he's throwing a lot of off-speed pitches. Only 32% of his pitches have been fastballs.
Calhoun at third, Simmons at second, Choi at first. Carlos 0 for 2 tonight with an RBI. Breaking ball outside, and it's 1 ball, no strikes.
And notice that hesitation in his delivery. Saw him in a spring training game.
Wilhelms, it ends up walking 3 in his inning in 2/3. He's responsible for all 3 guys on base. Here's the 1-0. Breaking ball in there. A little get it over pitch. 1 ball, 1 strike.
And a good slider, curveball, and changeup.
Halo's 1 for 8 tonight with men in scoring position. Now the 1-1. Fastball off the plate. 2 balls and 1 strike. Last pitched in the States back in 2009. That was a AAA Reno in the Diamondbacks organization before going to Japan. 2-1 pitch. 3-1.
And he's forcing that aim in his fastball. Now again, if you're Carlos, you're zoning in on one spot. Because more than likely, if it's a fastball, it's borderline, and you don't feel comfortable with it, let it go, because you'll get another fastball, 3-2. If he grooves that fastball, you jump on it.
All 3 outfielders playing somewhat shallow. Desmond, DeShields, and Chu from left to right for Texas. Barnett is ready. Here comes the 3-1 pitch. Right down the pipe. Full count. Get the merry-go-round going here with the base runners off on the next pitch. 2 outs and a full count.
You mentioned that the outfielder bunched together. A lot of room on both corners of the outfield. Both left field and right field. Especially now with the runners going.
Here comes the payoff pitch, and that's out towards center field. DeShields backs up, is there, and the Angels leave them loaded. We head to the 9th inning, 7-3 Texas. of the 9th inning, and earlier we were talking about the play that ended the game in Milwaukee with the Astros and the Brewers, and here it is. Colby Rasmus going in at second base, called out on the ground ball by Jose Altuve.
And there's no way you're going to turn a double play with Altuve running down the line, but that late slide by Colby Rasmus called an automatic double play. That slide late and by the base. That's a conversation we talked about last year when that Chase Utley play in the playoffs against the Mets was a late slide, not at the base, called an automatic double play. That bona fide slide, it's called, at second base.
Looked like a bona fide slide to me. Define bona fide. Fernando Salas takes over here in the 9th.
I can see when you slide over the base, you don't even attempt to slide. It was late by Rasmus, but not the point where it was beyond the base on the slide. And I'm looking at Twitter world. There's a lot of people out there they're pretty upset about that call. Obviously, a lot of people on the Astros side were not real happy about that, especially with Altuve running down the line.
Fernando Salas takes over to face Desmond, Odor, and Andrews here in the 9th. Desmond tonight 0 for 2 with 2 walks.
Well, what a play he made out in left field earlier in the game, with Escobar hitting a shot.
Third appearance for Fernando already on the young season. Chopper to first. Crone's got it. One down.
Second baseman, number 12,
Odor homered back into 3rd inning, his first of the year. First 2 runs batted in. That was off Matt Shoemaker. Shoemaker gave up 6 runs on 7 hits, 3 walks in his 3+ innings.
A lot of odd things in baseball even tonight, with the Dodgers having a no-hitter going in with the 8th inning.
Yeah, I think it was 7 1/3, I think it was. And I forget the kid's name that hit the home run that tied it.
Yeah. And Crawford wins it on a walk-off for the Giants against the Dodgers.
Nobody's going to get that one. Tough play near the tarp. Down goes Odor, 2 outs.
But San Diego scoring some runs today. They scored 13 and not scored yet. Season getting a big day from their offense as they win their first game of the season, San Diego.
Elvis Andrews, a couple of hits tonight. Fireballing left-handers up in the pen. He could bring it.
Yeah, they got quite a few guys down there that can rush up a fastball, mid-upper 90s. Jake Diekman, power lefty.
Halos have 9, 1, and 2 in the 9th. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Elvis Andrews. Up and in. Full count on Elvis Andrews. Chirinos on deck. One time tonight, 35,207 on this Friday night. Cool, damp night. Some rain early on. Long one tonight. 180 pitches thrown by the Angels so far tonight. This one's chopped toward the middle. Simmons to his left has it. And a 1-2-3 inning for Fernando Salas, the first for an Angels pitcher tonight. Into the bottom of the ninth. Halos down 4. Three, Texas on top in game 2 of this 4-game series. The Angels won last night in a walk-off fashion. They will do the same here to try to pick up the victory, or at least tie it up and take it into extras. But let's see what they can do against Jake Diekman, the left-hander, 29-year-old. Picked up in a trade last year as part of that big 8-player deal with the Philadelphia Phillies. It also brought Cole Hamels to the Texas Rangers. Diekman ended up pitching in 26 games for Texas down the stretch. No record at 2.08 ERA, 21 and 2/3 innings, 20 strikeouts, 7 walks.
And his fastball is 94 to 99 range, hard slider, occasional changeup.
Phillies 30th round pick in 07. Cliff Pennington spins around to hit from the right side for the first time, takes a strike. 1-for-2 game for Pennington with a triple and an RBI. Drew a walk in the 7th. Gone the distance at second base tonight. Pennington rolls it foul. Fouled off into the first base seats. Let's play on the camera. A.J. Griffin, his first big league start since having Tommy John surgery. 6 innings tonight, gave up 3 runs, 6 hits, 1 strikeout, 2 walks.
Cole Hamels will be on the mound tomorrow night against Garrett Richards. Yeah, an excellent pitching matchup.
Called strike 3. Pennington doesn't like the call. 1 down.
And just looking at our Fox tracks here, this is a 95-mile-an-hour fastball just off the inside corner. Call a 3rd strike against Pennington.
Escobar 0 for 4 tonight. 3 flyouts and a ground out. Grounds one toward Moreland. A nice play on the backhand. 2 down. Halos down to the last out. 6:05 start tomorrow. Hamels and Richards. 5:30 Angels Live will kick things off. Just not a good night for Angels pitchers tonight. Deadly combination. Tough outing for the pitchers, and the offense just couldn't get the hits. The men in scoring position.
He certainly had some chances.
Crone's 0 for 2. Sweeping breaking ball from Diekman. 1 ball, 2 strikes. One, 2 now. Down low. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Trout's on deck. Angels tonight have stranded 8 base runners. Texas stranded 10. Crone goes down swinging. The Angels drop game 2 to the Rangers. The final tonight 7-3.
Yeah, big stories in this game. A.J. Griffin picking up his first victory since 2013. Delighted with the Shields, a big game. Also on base 4 times for Texas. Odor with a home run. That offense, 10 hits today for Texas, but the big story is the comeback story for A.J. Griffin picking up his first victory.
Halos are now 1-3 on the young season. Texas with the victory now 2-3. 8-3 tomorrow night at 6:05. Garrett Richards against Cole Hamels. 7-3 the final. Texas takes game 2. Stick around. Angels Live with Patrick O'Neill and Jose Mota. Coming up next.